Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have a top 16 breakdown for CoreTCG's Zenkai Cup that happened this past weekend. This is a limited kind of format for how you can do your deck building with an emphasis on your Zenkai cards here, but looking at this top 16, this honestly just looks like a top 16 for what the current meta looks like anyways, at least going into this event, and it's just a lot of SS4 Goku and Vegeta, 8 in fact in this top 16, 3 Red Sins, 1 SS4 Vegeta, a Reboot Pan, an SS2 Vegito, a Kidku Reboot, and a 7Ku. And I think this is even though this is not like the full format that we're going into for Nationals, even though we do get another set coming out this month too, this, I think, is very, very similar to what we're seeing. I don't think that SS4 Goku and Vegeta is going to go anywhere anytime soon. They did just get a bunch of bans. They got a bunch of hits, and they're still, I think, the best deck in the format. Red Sin is like second best too. And yeah, in this pie chart, 75% are red decks there. So I don't know what your thoughts on that. I don't like the Goku and Vegeta deck anyways, so that's not great for me. Obviously, I'm a green player, and we're seeing no green for like the last 3-4 months consistently, and that really stinks for me. And I don't know, it's just a weird kind of format, but also emphasized by just having this Zenkai Cup format. But anyways, my thoughts aside, we're going to go through the list. We're going to look at the top placing leader for each one of these archetypes, starting with Brandall's first place SS4 Goku and Vegeta. Starting off, we have Brandall's first place SS4 Goku and Vegeta, and we've seen Brandall do super well at a lot of these webcam events. Normally he's playing blue or something more, I'd say, kind of control-y, but man, this is such an aggressive deck, and again, like having it being half of the top cut is probably one of the better lists to be running right now if you do want to do well, and Brandall definitely did well this weekend. And kind of like the only other thing about this deck too that I don't like about it is that the lists are pretty standardized in most of the sense, right? You have to play all of your Goku and Vegeta's SS4s because they're part of the archetype and they're like half your deck. You gotta play the Unison because it's really good in this, and then you just have a couple of your tech choices too, right? So we have the big 8-drop SS4 Gogeta for your finisher place there. We have one Yamcha because we can only run one right now. We have 2 Broly Crowns because even if they can't be played by skills, they're still really, really good for a 1-drop there. And then, just some extra text. We have Omen's Awakening. If your leader card's ready, you choose one card in your life, place it in your drop area. If the battle card being played is 20k power or less, place it on your drop. And if you have red use in play, you can just reduce it in your hand by 1. So just for 1, being able to pop something that's 20k or less is pretty good, and this is on both players' turns, so there's some good things for it. Protector of the People too as a defense. We aren't seeing Violent Rays in this deck anymore because it's not really doing anything, so I think Protector kind of does a little bit of the same thing. It's obviously, I don't think, as good as OG Violent Rays, but I understand the use of it here. And that is about it for the tech choices. I don't know. No offense to Brandall, because obviously super well. Deck building, there's not a lot of decision points for a deck like this. You just build it yourself and just kind of go from there. And we see this, and that's, I don't know. We see this with Gogeta, with SS4 of these two, right? We see this with Red Sin, where it's just a really strong archetype. You just put them all in, and then you just kind of make your tech choices, and that's your deck, right? So I don't like that as much. It's not really a deck building challenge. It is a skill challenge of the sense of you have to be able to pilot this deck correctly, especially since people know what's in their deck and they know what to expect with it. But I don't know, this deck is super duper strong. So again, congrats to Brandall for their finish there. And next up we have Jose's third place SS4 Vegeta here. And we do get a couple of new supports cards from the EX expansion set from this. First, the Bulma fighting for Vegeta, Auto, when this card is played, you get to draw 1, boom. Auto limit 1 if you're for 1 blue. If your lead card's blue and this is your turn, when this card is using a combo from your hand, choose 1. If you're one of your blue Vegeta cards is in battle switch, one of your mono blue energy to activate. This card gets plus 5k combo for the battle. So being able to just be a 10k for free is kind of nice as a combo piece, which is really neat because you don't even have to. It switches the mono blue to active mode too, so it's just a 10k whatever. Also, or just choose up to one of your blue Vegeta cards that gains double strike for the battle. So being able to just have a Champa for your leader that's also just blue on color, and you don't have to worry about having to run the Champas and everything else. It's a very, very strong card for I think like one of the most lasting strong decks in the last year, right? This deck has been out for a really long time, but in the last year it's been very strong. Obviously, the SS4 Vegeta is still super strong, and you can use it for double strike as well because it is a Vegeta GT card, so that's very strong and very, very good stuff there too. There's also the add of the SS Rose Goku Black Mortals Be Gone, so it's a double strike 20k. When this card is played, draw one, then choose 20 of your opponent's battle cards at any cost of 4 or less, and place it at the owner of the bottom of the owner's deck. Or activate battle limit 1 for 1 blue if your leader is a mono blue or a Zamasu or Goku Black, and you have 3 more Z energy, you can play it from your hand. So 1k. For 1 energy, get to play 20k double strike that also draws a card and gets rid of a 4 or less. This is a really good value for what it is, so I do like the add there. They're also adding the Son Goku and Pycon because it's strong. And again, with like the add of the Z energy area and just wanting to do that anyways, it just means that it's very easy to get this off and use your effects there. And even if you just hard cast this for 6, it's still really good for what it is. So, and none of the actually good effects, like this one being able to, get barrier is kind of strong, but this, if you just play it for 6, you get all the effects still, and that's very strong for you. So, I don't know. I think blue is probably the second best color in this game right now. I think it has a chance, and the reason it is good is because it has a chance of being more defensive and controlly, so that red can't do anything for it. And it's in a really good spot. So again, we just see so many good blue sand leaders. We see like SS3 Reboot do super well as well. And so SS4 Vegeta is in the same spot. And with the boost with the Bulma, I'm not very surprised there. So congrats again to Josue for their finish there. And next up we have Timothy on Pan per usual. Such a grinder with this deck too, and nothing too different, I would say. Pan does have a lot more flexibility, I think, than the SS4 Goku and Vegeta list, just because of how the nature of the deck works. Obviously, it does have a bunch of like 15k pans that it got from this set that you need to be running. The Great Up Son Goku is this card just busted, by the way. Just being able to use this effect in your deck is really good. The promo Goten is great for a 1-drop. That is 15k and get your effects off. You're still running for this because this never played it off of Unison anyway, so you're still in a good spot. We do have like the Spirit Mentor that gets rid of a barrier for 3, which is fine in the deck. We also have the Flight of the Grand Eagle, so choose it to one of your leader cards of battle because it gets plus 10k power for the battle. 100k. My goodness. And then also if your leader card's red, you can activate this counter skill from your hand by choosing 2 of your red non-token battle cards, reducing their power by 10k for the turn instead of paying their energy cost. So that's not too bad for you. You do usually have like a wider board of stuff that usually have barrier too, so you can get rid of, you don't really have to worry about that kind of effect happening. And then also the gigantic meteor, which is a nice little add too. So its energy cost is reduced by 2 because you are a mono red Saiyan. Choose one, activate battle. If it's your turn, choose a number of your opponent's battle cards up to 30k and KO them, or choose up to one of your leader cards or unison gets plus 15k power and has the skills negated for the battle. Additionally, if your leader card is a Broly card, that doesn't happen. But still, essentially like a Frieza death ball, but also can just get rid of some stuff. So really strong there. And then Z deck is what you expect out of list. I don't think I even talked about the Z deck from here. Yeah, nothing. I mean, Z decks are really standardized right now. There's not enough options for you to actually like make any insightful decisions, especially when red just has the best 2 ones in the game anyway, so don't even worry about it. So anyways, congrats to Tim on their finish here with red. Always a good grinder with it, and a very strong finish there. Next up, we have Seraphim Zhang's 11th place Red Sin. And I said this earlier in it, and yeah, there's just so much good like stuff in this deck, right? You just build it up how it is. You really have a couple choices, right? Do you want to run unisons, which unisons aren't as good right now because of the Yamcha limit? Do you want to run just the mono red, or do you want to run the red yellow package? And the red yellow package is what Seraphim decided to choose, and it's a strong one. Like, again, any counter that you can jam into any deck is probably good, especially when you have a 30k triple striker trying to hit you for game, and they have like 11 cards in hand. So it's a strong card for the deck, and especially since you're already running the Beerus super combo, which is always pretty much live, and the choice of the SS4, the Vermilion Saiyans, as your secret rare. So counterattack for each color in your battle areas or energy areas, so pretty much 2, unless you play the Vegeta for 1, and then you have 3 because you have a black. You choose up to one of your opponent's bad cards, ignoring barrier sent to always warp, and then each card sent to warp, your leader gets plus 5k power for the turn. So it's just a really good like removal. It's on the defense step, but also if your opponent's 4 or more energy, play up to 4 black multicolor. That's never gonna happen. Where are we reading that card? Where are we kidding? So it's strong. We just have a lot of great recursion with this deck, and it's very, I don't know, I keep saying strong. It is. So running the 1 Vegeta because they changed the rules, so you can do this now. So you are, and also an Oolong Greed is good because the same thing, and you have yellow, and so this can be a 30k for 1, which is nice, and you just kind of go from there. So that is just really strong there, and whatever. Yeah, and you can run this card too because it's only non-red battle cards, so that is why it gets exempt, because it's black. And then again, they changed the rules for the Z deck, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, congrats to Seraphim there. I really do like Red Sun. It's kind of a wish deck. I keep telling myself it's a wish deck, so it's fine that it's doing really well right now, even though it really isn't. So anyways, we do have Sam Johnson's 12th place set 2 Vegito list here. And this is, I think this is probably the best deck that came from the anniversary box, in my opinion. There's a lot of strong stuff it can do, and there's a lot of just cool cards you can run it, especially like this. If you go into your Z leader card, you can play this for 2, which is a great card to play for 2. This got eroded to only being for Vegito cards, so you're fine because you're that card. It's also running the 8-drop, and so if your lead cards are red or black, and there are 3 more red and or blacks in your energy and or battle area, which is going to be really easy for that because it's not even mono red. You get to play it, and then you're just plus 5k. So nice little tech there. Bean's in the deck, but it is limited to just your opponent's turn. I think Bean in this deck would have been stupid, so at least full power Bean. So that's nice that it got that little neuter there. And then you just kind of run your Gokus and Vegetas that you like, and you can run in your things. So I don't know. It seems like a strong list, and I'm really looking forward to BT 19 list. And if anyone is a mad lad to run a set 2 leader in our nationals, which is on set 19, but I like this. I think there's a lot of reason for people like this, and there's some strong combos in a deck like this too. So anyways, that is going to be it there. The sideboard is just the Vegitos and the Vegetas, and that is all you really need. So you're really fine there. So congrats again to Sam for their finish there. Next up, we have Nicolis Rivera's 13th place Kidku Reboot. And I really like this leader. This is my favorite of the new stars, and there's some really obnoxious thing you can do with this deck too. So why would you not run it? You're running, it's the only yellow deck to get in this top today, and there's a reason for it. It's a lot of advantage and a really obnoxious things you can do. You get a bunch of barrier boys pretty much for free. You have a really good unison that gets +2 and gets blocker and helps protect itself by doing other things, and can help protect you by giving itself blocker, which is nice. We can run the Gohan Z Fighter to empower on top of it. And then we're just running kind of like the good stuff. So the Slug package, the Swift Retaliation Cooler as well. Like Slug's really easy to get off this because you're going to always have some barrier boys out. And Release from Evil is nasty too. Just all the really kind of good stuff for it. So I don't know. I like this deck a lot. And then just going into the the Z deck, we do have 2 of the Z Awaken card. We have the Oolongs, we have the SSB Gokus, as well as just a 15k dual attack for 1 Z energy if we really need to. I've come around too on this card. I think this needs to be run. I originally thought it was just too clunky, but just the card draw is great with it, and it's solid there. And we're seeing just the OG combos of Mira, Hidden Power, E Supreme Kai, and Cooler. So I mean, if you've got 5 energy and your opponent has 2 life left, there you go. You get there. So anyways, congrats to Nicolis for their finish there. And lastly, we have our our 7Ku, as I like to call it. It's like a reboot version of the Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku run by Tommy V. And it's a solid deck. We did get the errata on this Beerus again, so this, you don't get to continually draw with this like you could. I think it was a neat effect. I don't think it was busted, but obviously it could be busted. I'm not surprised it got eroded, but I don't think it was something that the deck was doing. If you're able to continually do this, it's because your opponent's giving you enough time to do something, and this is just one way to punish it, right? So it was really only a good loop if you are already winning, in my opinion. But anyways, and you are going with the SSB Kaioken Goku there to refresh all of your energy. which is really nice for this deck too. No hatch though, so you have to be careful on that defense side. We have the SS Rose, Goku Black, Mortals Be Gone. We are running the SS4 Vegeta as well, which is a little dangerous because we are running some not blue cards, but you're probably fine. And the Turning the Tide, I don't know, like this deck is really cool. It is a little bit slow on getting started sometimes because you do have to give up a lot of energy to be able to ramp your energy. But once you get to your 7 energy, there's a lot that this deck does. And especially like Kale is so good when you have that energy. And even if some of it is just stuck because of this too, it doesn't really matter. So anyways, congrats to Tommy for their finish there, getting some diversity in this top 16. And what the Z deck is, again, we are running one of this guy because it's really good, and then the rest because Cell's great. Cell's a really great card, and this being able to do a what was it at the end of switch this action mode, and then like just having a triple strike barrier blocker that resets at the end of turn is probably pretty good for 5, especially since you don't have to get it out of your hand. So that's going to be it for me today, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Again, congrats to all of the top 16, and I'm looking forward to seeing what differences we're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks, especially with the release of BT19 and with Nationals at the beginning of December. So that's going to be it for us. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.